One. Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning from the office. If you were expecting to see BKP, he's not here, which is very obvious to those that are informed and looking at my mugshot and Bruce's mugshot.
Here we are again.
Yeah, he will be here, though. He will be here a little bit later. He'll be joining us about 9:15. And yeah, he's going to be doing the segment with Beth Bennett, our favorite H&R Block lady. She's going to come in here. I think she comes in here every 2 weeks and does a little tax tip stint before tax season is upon us. So
tax time is here already.
yeah,
It's
Brian will be with us.
Get your 1099s.
That's right. We've got up on the screen how you can get a hold of us. You can go to the Instagram at Fetcher News or at FYNTV. You can use your Twitter account at Fetcher News at FYNTV, and you can go to YouTube at FYNTV Fetch Your News. We are delighted to be here this morning, and breaking news from last night. We've got
we've got a winner.
We've got a winner. We've got all the results. We're going to bring you the results as they happened last night. So, I'm convinced that there were so many people watching this contest last night that they could not wait for the results. So we want to be the first in North Georgia to bring it to you this morning. Do you have a piece from the victory party last night, Destiny, that you can show the folks at home? It's most watched, folks. Check it out.
You hit on it the way when we were watching, no matter which dog you were rooting for, selecting at home, the poodle stood out. Siba made the mark.
Absolutely.
She was perfection going around that ring.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about
There's
that.
her bow. That's great. I loved last night when Jamie asked her, what makes her special, and Crystal's answer was, "You'll have to ask my 2-year-old son because she's his best friend." You know what? That's what matters most, actually.
And standard poodles are so smart, and they're just human-like. They're oftentimes referred to as. They're very intelligent, very versatile.
That bow was a head turner earlier. And now in the middle of Madison Square Garden, your 2020 144th edition. Siba, the standard poodle, best in show.
There you go. That is your winner from last night, folks. We brought it to you first from North Georgia, always on the cutting edge of, well, I don't want to go with societal evolution because that's already taken.
But that
right?
wasn't New Hampshire.
No,
that was New York.
That was New York. That was New York. Anyway, we had a poodle win best in show at Westminster last night, and let's see.
That's a French poodle, right?
That is
or standard.
That is a standard poodle.
Okay.
That's got a little French cut.
Okay. And black isn't that typical, right?
Do you think that that's the only black that has ever won that? No.
I'm not going there.
I'm sure there's been other black.
I still remember the Beagle one. There we go.
I'm sure there's been white dogs, and there's been red dogs, and there's been brown dogs. It's a totally...
And multicolor, and you name it.
Yeah. Multi-generational. Anyway, so now moving right along, thank you for putting that up there, Destiny. I hope everybody got as much of a laugh out of that as we did. But let's go to New Hampshire.
New Hampshire.
New Hampshire. Any results in there jump out at you that you didn't expect?
Well, I think along with everyone else, Amy Klobuchar, ran a strong third. I think that was a surprise. And between Bernie and Pete, it was very close. I think it was only 1.4 percentage points.
Yeah, I've got it written down here somewhere. 25.73 for Bernie. I think there's still some precincts.
Yeah, they still do paper ballot, and it's very rural there.
Yeah.
So some of it's still dribbling in.
Pete Buttigieg was at 24.4, but they both got 9 delegates.
Yeah.
Out of 24, they each got 9. Amy got 6, and the rest got bupkis. So Warren finished 4th at 9.29. Biden, a distant 5th at 8.42.
Yep.
After being the front runner all these I think that was wishful thinking, don't you?
That lying dog-faced pony soldier took a really.
Hey, you were just waiting to use that, weren't you?
Yeah.
Well, Pilgrim, you did good.
I'm just going down to South Carolina.
Yeah, I'm pulling
Giddy
up.
up.
I'm pulling up stakes and going to my country.
That was so great during the week, that whole episode with lying Dogface Pony Soldier.
Yeah.
Originally, they thought it was John Wayne, but it turns out it was a Tyrone Power movie.
Oh, I thought it was John Wayne. Okay.
No, Tyrone
All right.
Power.
So next, let's see, on the 22nd, we got South Carolina. No, we got Nevada.
Nevada, which is
Nevada.
another caucus state, and supposedly is using the same shadow software.
Oh, boy.
That's what I heard. Just saying.
Funded by yours truly, George Soros.
Yep.
November 22nd in Nevada, and then they go to South Carolina excuse me, I keep saying November. February. 22nd.
Yeah.
And we go to South Carolina on the 29th. I guess we only go there every 4 years, huh? If it's on the 29th,
Yeah.
being a leap year day.
And then the big kahuna is March 3rd.
March 3rd, Super Tuesday, where everybody is anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's how many states that
I think,
day?
I don't know, 15, 18 states. It's a bunch.
Including Georgia, right?
I don't know. That's a good question.
thought that,
I don't know that.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
Okay, so if Bernie crashes and burns in South Carolina, is he done?
Well, Nevada will be in between there. That'll be a little bit of an indicator. But yeah, if he doesn't, if he
You
doesn't,
think he'll stick around till South Carolina if he
yes,
crashes
yes,
in
yes,
Nevada? Okay.
Yes, I think. Yeah, even if he doesn't do well in Nevada, I think he'll stay around him because that's supposedly
That's his firewall.
the first most diverse state, and he says he's in tight with the Black American vote. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Yeah.
We'll see how tight he really is.
But there was also a winner last night on the Republican side. Who could that be?
Yeah. Who took, let's see, 85.49% of the vote, with still several precincts yet to return. So.
Yeah, and the deal there, of course, the one other regional politician is Bill Weld from Massachusetts. I think he got like 8% or something like that.
Yeah.
Kind of a favorite son thing. And then there was a whole bunch of write-ins, oddballs,
Mickey Mouse.
Jet
Even Mickey
Jackson.
Mouse could beat him.
Yogi Bear, whatever. I mean, so. But interestingly, in the vote total he got, and I don't have that number here, but supposedly 30,000 more votes than Bernie got when he won in 2016. Remember,
Wait a minute, who got 30,000?
Trump.
Okay.
He got 30,000 more votes than Bernie did when he won in 2016.
And Bernie won by a huge margin, didn't he?
Yeah,
Over Hillary?
60 to 38
Yeah.
percentage points. I don't know the vote totals. But another thing they were talking about.
What do you extrapolate out of that?
Well, I mean, an incumbent president and, very popular. And they're talking of winning New Hampshire this year. They think they have a good shot at winning New Hampshire.
You talk
the
about
Republicans.
you talk about popularity. I mean, if you saw that rally that he had, what he's just sticking it in their eye, isn't he?
Oh,
to
yeah.
come in and do a rally like that the night before they have their big deal.
Yeah. But again, I mean, there's
That's the way it
Republicans in
works.
the state, and he's got a lot to crow about, and he did. So I think it's smart politicking.
Apparently, Trump had a huge ground game in that state. I mean, they were canvassing like there's no tomorrow, and I think that'll hold true. I don't know if Jared's kind of in charge again. Jared Kushner's son-in-law,
I think he's behind the scenes. I know the kind of the
with the guy with the little goatee.
yeah
what's his-
Brad Parscale.
Yeah, there
He's
you go.
their kind of IT tech guru.
Yeah.
And yeah, he
He's
knows.
his campaign manager, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think he came out of an IT background. So yeah, he's a very capable guy, and obviously has the trust of Trump because he's running the show.
We've talked about it before, but one of the reasons that they are so emphatically bullish on doing these rallies is because they get all the information from these people. Every one of them is turning in a card, As a matter of fact, when you go online to sign up, which I've done a couple of times, when you go online to sign up for a ticket
Uh-huh.
to get into the event,
Yeah.
you've got to provide them all of the information where they can harvest that information and then use it to their advantage.
And I saw Kayla McEnany, who's involved with the Trump campaign nationally as well. I don't know her exact title, but she was on Fox and Friends early today, and she said of the people, they had 52,000 people sign up to go to that rally. 52,000 wanted to go, and 11.5 got in the venue, and there was X number outside.
Yeah.
But they said of the people that applied to get in, 25% were Democrats, according to the form they filled out.
Really?
Yeah, 25%.
So to extrapolate something from that, you think they're not coming in to cause a problem. They're probably coming in because they're thinking about crossing parties. Huh?
Oh yeah, yeah. And they had a couple on the street interviews on Fox, and they did talk to some Democrats, and they said, you can't argue with the success. I mean, he's done a lot of what he said he was going to do, with a few exceptions, but they're very happy with the results.
If you look at that, if you look at the debate that was on the other night, if you turned it on at all, and if you didn't turn it on, you've probably seen the clip if you're paying attention, of when they asked the question, who on the stage is supportive of a socialist candidate?
Mm-hmm.
And excuse me, who is not supportive? Correct?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it was asked of the negative. The only one, and I guarantee there was more, the only one was Amy Klobuchar.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Dems are now putting all of their eggs in her basket, thinking that she maybe could be the moderate female to emerge from this thing and take the sting out of the party. If one of those socialists lines up.
Well, again, we've gone through a caucus and a primary, and everybody, of course, is always trying to get ahead of the game here. So I think the next caucus and primary and then Super Tuesday is going to separate the men from the boys. I mean, as it is, Andrew Yang dropped out and Tom Steyer dropped out after their poor showing in New Hampshire.
I saw that, yeah.
It'll be interesting to see. I think Bennett is out too, the senator from Colorado. So the field is narrowing, and the question will be: Will people like Joe Biden, Elizabeth Warren? I don't know who else is left after that.
Yeah, but I mean,
the
the wild card that they keep pointing to, who allegedly is now third in the national polls, is Bloomberg.
Yeah, but then you saw what happened with Bloomberg yesterday. Those old tapes came out. Oh my goodness!
Do you think that was designed to drop that little nugget on the day of the primary?
Probably. and there was some talk about that yesterday. I know it was on talk radio or whatever. But I mean, said, was it Republican or was it Democrat? And it was a Republican strategist, I think, who said, I think it was from the Democrats. And they have this battle going on, for the soul of the party. And I don't know if they know where they want to end up yet.
Who's been glaringly absent lately? You haven't seen her since the State of the Union, is Pelosi, speaking of state of the party.
I saw something briefly with her and Schumer yesterday, but it was like, I mean,
Well, Schumer came out of his shell to talk about the DOJ, and he wants a Senate investigation into how the DOJ, and we'll talk about this later, the DOJ getting involved in the sentencing of Stone.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get into that after the break later on, but I mean that's another Senate investigation.
Yeah. And just going back to New Hampshire, one of the things they were talking about quite a bit, before was the Democratic turnout. Now, the Democratic turnout in 2008, that was Barack Obama's first year, was 288,000. In 2016...
Is that just for Democrat turnout?
Democrat turnout, just Democrat.
Got it.
In 2016, when Bernie and Hillary were going at it, it dropped to 254. And the head of the Democratic Party in New Hampshire said, we're going to do, in my humble opinion, 292,000. Well, I looked at the vote totals at 91% of the vote in. It was about 215,000. So if you run that out, that right around 236,000, and it could be a bit more than that, but that could fall under the 2016 turnout, and way off from what they thought for 2020. So there's an enthusiasm gap, I think, on the Democratic side that's really starting to rear its ugly head, and that's scaring them even more.
And your old buddy from the guy from Louisiana, what's his name? The Snake.
The Snake.
The Democrat.
James Carville.
James, yeah.
We lost our damn mind.
Not that he is relevant anymore. I mean, the guy is 75 years old, and he's wearing his LSU colors and his Marine hat.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was a Marine.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He was. Yeah, and big Tiger fan, and again, one of the kind of oddball marriages. His wife hasn't been seen in the river. Marley Matlin or something like that. Yeah, I mean, and she's a Republican, and he's a diehard Democrat.
Right.
I mean, an operative, if you will.
Well, I mean, you hadn't heard from any of them until just recently when he's he's come out and just swinging.
Yeah.
Scared to death that the party's cratering.
Yeah, and Rahm Emanuel's opining, and all these former heavyweights of the Democratic Party all throwing their 2 cents in. And I think what's going to be interesting is, you mentioned Bloomberg, how that's going to roll forward. I mean, again, for some of the viewers or listeners who haven't heard, yesterday there was some tapes from 2013 and 2015 of Michael Bloomberg talking about the stop and frisk law in New York City while he was mayor of New York. And he said some pretty insensitive things, let's say, in today's environment. They're not being received well.
Can you paraphrase what he said, basically?
Essentially, he was saying, the cops have all the information on what's going on, in the neighborhoods in terms of crimes. He said, I think he used the word, he says you can just take that sheet, Xerox it, give it to all the cops, and what we're going to do, and what the reality on the street is, all the cops are in the minority areas where the highest percentage of minorities live, because that's where all the crime is, and minorities 16 to 25 are causing the majority of the crime. So what you got to do is dedicate all your police to those areas, and then just go in there, and if you see anything funny, you just throw them up against the wall and frisk them.
Which translates to targeting and profiling.
Yeah.
And I think his campaign, when asked for a comment, said, well, he inherited that.
Yeah, that was from Giuliani.
Yeah.
Now, let's tell the truth here. I mean, there is some semblance of reality with those statements, although you can't really say it's all minorities in all these districts. That's way overstated. But, you do have to address the crime where it is. And I don't know the statistics then versus what they are now. I do know crime is way down from what it was in the really lawless years there. But
however, if you'd read the latest articles, they say that it's the scariest city now in terms of increase.
Well, it's going back up.
Yeah. The shootings in New York City. The cops are in a absolute war with De Blasio, and they're saying we're not blaming just on the what do they call it, the Bail Reform Act.
Oh, mm-hmm.
Which means that you get out a free card.
Yeah, more than once.
Yeah, they're blaming Cuomo and De Blasio on just piddle-poor management.
Yeah,
just bad policies in general.
You look at the Democratic major cities in here, and another one, of course, comes to mind is Baltimore. Virtually murder capital of the U.S.
Chicago,
the highest per capita murder rate in the country. You just see these Democratic mayors wanting to bend over backwards to accommodate criminal justice and social justice, and the unintended consequences are rising crime rates. They're losing voters because the people are getting really upset with the lawlessness.
Shootings are up 30% over 2019 so far in 2020 in areas of New York City.
It's astounding. I mean, it's just astounding.
It's no wonder they turn their backs on the guy when he walks in, or when he goes to the hospital to see one of his, officers that has been shot.
Yeah, which
You
just
know,
happened. I mean, there was two guys, two cops that were sitting
They were
in a van.
ambushed.
Yeah, the guy just came up and popped them right through the window, and
Yeah.
they were darn lucky.
You're
to-
not kidding.
to
The
just
one guy
get-
caught it in
just
the neck
grazed,
and the
grazed his throat.
right.
So yeah, very lucky. But going back to Bloomberg, now he's a racist. He's insensitive, and it will remain to be seen whether the Democratic Party overlooks these indiscretions. And he still's got legs. He's certainly got the money, and it'll be interesting to see everybody kind of settle down in their lanes. Is Pete going to be considered a moderate now?
Pete is no more a moderate than the man on the moon when you look at some of his past policies and his past, the way he handled the.
True, but I mean they're putting labels on all these candidates. And
Well-
Amy is now the moderate, maybe. But I mean, compared to Bernie, I mean everybody's moderate.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, when AOC shows up and is your opening act.
You've got to wonder. I mean, how much that squad has taken over the direction of the Democratic Party.
They're causing the party a lot of heartburn. I can I can assure you. Now the question in my mind is, how deeply will the media vet a guy like Buttigieg? Will they report that his parents, that his father is an avowed Marxist and a professor at Notre Dame? Will that come out?
I don't know.
He grew up in a household that professed Marxism.
Is that why they're calling him the new Obama? Just saying. Folks.
Well, that's my point. I mean, did like Brian says, did a black limo pull up one day and say, "Get in, son. We've got some news for you. You're going to be the new heir apparent. We'll see how you. We'll make sure you get there.
Well,
just play by our rules."
And that's another interesting point. That is Obama going to step out of the shadows and be a factor in this race with Bloomberg, Buttigieg, Klobuchar, Sanders.
What's the guy's name? The black mayor that got into the race, but you don't hear him anymore.
Not mayor, the governor.
Governor, excuse me.
Deval Patrick.
Yes.
He got some write-in votes in New
did.
Hampshire.
He did. I saw that.
Yeah.
They're still saying that he may be a factor. Apparently, there's a groundswell of support for him to get a lot more active.
Well, maybe we should leave the dangling participle for Brian to comment on this. But do these candidates who come in after Super Tuesday just because the party wants to have a candidate they think can be more competitive with Trump, is that really the way things are going to go? Or
they're changing the rules as on the fly. With the same way with these super delegates.
Beat Trump at all costs. I think that's the mantra.
Exactly. That's exactly right. So,
but Kevin McCarthy was on last night during some of the election coverage and post closing, and he said, "I'm looking at taking the House back, and I feel really good about holding the Senate, if not increasing our Senate." So,
well, good. I hope he's correct.
Yeah.
Anyway. Well, we're delighted to be here this morning, sitting in for Brian until he gets in here about 9:10, 9:15, where he'll be hosting a live segment with Beth Bennett, our valued H&R Block sponsor, and it's RFG and BAC in for BKP this morning. We're delighted to be here. Destiny at the helm.
What's Destiny's initials? We need to get her initials.
Yeah, that's right. We've covered some election, and we showed you the overall winner from last night, who was the standard poodle Sibba, the black standard poodle, won the big prize last night, and that's the Westminster Dog Show. You gotta love your show dogs anyway. So. We're going to take a break back here to let you take a look at our sponsor list, our valued sponsor list, and then when we come back, we're going to beat up the beat up the judges that, or the prosecutors that turned tail and ran out at the 11th hour for fear they were going to be called out on trying to lock up Stone for the rest of his life.
Roger Stone.
Yeah, and then we'll talk a little bit maybe about the DOJ and their efforts to take back the federal rights as they've been formed and voted on by the framers. So anyway, Destiny, take us to break here and we'll see you on the other side.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in Ellijay, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Circuit World has complete queen bedroom packages at amazing prices. Get this queen bed, dresser and mirror, one nightstand, bedding set, and free 32-inch TV, all for only $1799.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this complete queen bedroom set and sleep in style, also for only $1799.99 or $129.99 a month. What an incredible deal! Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Ace is your healthful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
Hey, we are back. We are back indeed. We are back in the saddle again for Brian this morning, who's got a couple of interviews he had to do this morning, and he'll be back here about 9:15 to finish off the show.
BKP is AWOL.
That's it.
Yeah.
We are the house of acronyms here, guys. This is RFG with BAC sitting in for BKP, who is AWOL. And I could say a couple other ones, but I probably shouldn't go there.
Leave it there.
Yeah, we covered some election coverage. We covered the winner of the big night last night, who was the Standard Poodle from the Westminster Dog Show. We didn't want to be too confused with the other winner of the night, Bernie Sanders, who Juan Williams says is now the clear-cut candidate who can run the table.
Dominant candidate.
Dominant, yeah. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
For bringing up the back of the bus. But anyway.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Yeah.
Anyway, there was a commotion caused yesterday when four of the, let's call them Mueller gang prosecutors,
you say.
Prosecutors, you would say, that went after Stone for whatever he did, witness tampering.
Yeah.
Apparently, as the story goes, they went to the brass and said, "This is what we are going to recommend to the judge." When in reality,
In terms of sentencing.
yeah.
Roger Stone found guilty, and he's in the sentencing period.
Phase, yeah. So apparently it came out that they're recommending 87 to 108 months of prison, up to 8 years.
Yeah.
Which is not consistent, number one.
7 to 9 years.
Yeah, which is not consistent with what the crime actually normally carries.
The typical sentencings for someone convicted of that crime.
And is not convicted, and is not consistent with what they told the DOJ brass. So the DOJ brass stepped in and said, "Whoa, what's the deal here?"
Whoa, Nelly.
Yeah, whoa, Nelly.
Well, it's because
excuse me,
the prosecutors had told DOJ before we got to this point that they were going to go for a lighter sentence, and those numbers aren't out, but that was internally represented by DOJ that they were not going to go to 7 to 9 years. It was something less. So the turnabout was when they came out with this. They obviously did a 180 on what they told their bosses at DOJ, and the boss at DOJ are a little upset by that.
Yeah. So Schumer now wants a Senate investigation to see why there's been so much tampering from the Trump administration into a sentence. You look at MSNBC this morning, and what's the lead story? The lead story is not how close the race was in New Hampshire. The lead story is corruption at the DOJ.
Yeah.
I mean, really, folks, corruption at the DOJ? It's the same DOJ that incidentally is suing California, New Jersey, and Washington State for the damage that's being done to law enforcement at the federal level, correct?
Yes, with ICE agents and immigration and sanctuary cities and counties.
Yeah. Keeping in mind that when the Constitution was originally drafted and framed, it specifically says in there that the federal law is the supreme law of the land.
Mm-hmm.
They gave states plenty of power.
Yeah, there's a lot of leeway for them to do what they want.
Right, but not to the point where they're obstructing federal law.
National security, ladies and gentlemen.
Isn't that the way you read it?
Exactly.
So the DOJ finally stepped in and said, enough is enough. We're taking care of the illegals out there. We're taking care of criminals out there in these sanctuary cities at the risk of law-abiding citizens. When did we go topsy-turvy on that?
Basta es basta. I mean, Enough is enough.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
I hadn't heard that. Wow. That's pretty funny.
yeah.
So that'll be the next fight and the next, the next thing that gets.
Well, the media, of course, will be consumed with this. Again, there's a conspiracy. There's abrogation of law. There's
Right.
just trampling all over the judicial system by these crazed right-wing white nationalists that are in control now. It'll all be said in those terms too.
You still like the job the bar is doing, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he's brought a sense of common sense to that.
Exactly. And as soon as you hear the media and the Democrats start alleging that he is overstepping his bounds, you know that he's doing a good job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you attract the attention of Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, and the media,
Yeah.
you're doing something real good.
Yeah. Oh, this guy is in the tank for Donald Trump. Who was it that said he was his wingman for Obama?
Would that have been Maxine Waters or Al Green or one of them?
No, I think it was the what's his name? The DOJ, the DOJ head under Obama. The
Holder?
Yeah. I'm his wingman.
Eric Holder.
If that ain't in the camp, if that ain't the creature of cover-up, I don't know who is.
Yeah, because that was exactly what Holder was described as for Obama.
Yeah.
Or he maybe self-described. He said, "I'm his wingman."
He self-described it. I'm his wingman.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else? Yeah. What else can you say? So.
Is the new Top Gun out? I mean, that's all about wingman, right?
Can't wait for
Top
that
Gun
movie.
Top 2. Anyway.
Can't wait for that movie. That's gonna be good.
Should
Did
be.
you see the trailer? It's great. I digress. There's a trailer out already. It's great.
I haven't seen the trailer.
Yeah. Anyway,
Where are we going?
where are we going with the DOJ? We've got lawsuits to look forward to, which is going to end up at the Supreme Court level.
For what Schumer's bringing on this?
Uh,
Or sanctuary cities?
Sanctuary cities.
The 3 states. Okay.
Yeah.
No
you,
doubt.
You know that that's
No
going to
doubt.
end up
Yeah,
there.
Yeah.
And that's what they're all looking toward. So,
And they probably won't be able to fast track it to get into the Supreme Court docket because
I don't
they're
think
done
so.
in mid-June. They're
yeah,
finished.
Yeah.
So they won't do anything again until, I don't know if they come back right before the election.
And they'll roll out
September?
Ginsburg again and put her
October?
on life support
Oh,
until
geez.
till it comes back into session again.
Well, can you imagine if anything happens to any of the Supreme
my
Court
God.
justices now? I mean, it will be a total replay of what happened, with Obama's
Kavanaugh.
last year.
Yeah, and well, they're. I mean, there's
You
already,
don't make an appointment, because the new president's should get a chance to do that.
Yeah.
Right?
Guess who's going to be the new president? Anyway.
I know what the disruption on that's going to be.
Yeah. Yeah. We've got to wait until we have the election to see before we can appoint any. What's his name is the Supreme Court Justice Thomas is wanting to retire, isn't he?
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Clarence Thomas.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Um,
There's no spring. Well, there are a few spring chickens up there, but a number of these guys and gals are pretty old, and that's another thing. I mean, maybe you should have something that, like, I don't know,
the prediction is that if Trump
82
gets
and a half, you're out.
The prediction is that if Trump gets reelected, he will have a shot at 2 more Supreme Court appointments while he's in office. We're just assuming that Ruthie Baby will either take a powder or retire, whatever. She's got to assume room temperature at some point in time, but I don't know when that's going to be. No one does, except the Lord.
Well, I saw her, and like I said before, with Schumer, a press conference probably about the DOJ thing. She was saying, I mean, she looked like she had coronavirus. She just looked horrible. So,
My corona.
yeah.
Anyway.
Interesting thing about Clarence Thomas,
Yeah.
did you know that he is from a town called Pinpoint, Georgia?
Right outside of Savannah, isn't it?
I don't know where it is, but
But you can probably pinpoint it if you want to.
we probably could Google that and find it, folks. But the
Yeah.
interesting thing I just read
He was
recently
just in Georgia, wasn't he? Doing a dedication at the state Supreme Court. I think they just built a new state Supreme Court venue.
In Atlanta?
I believe so, and I
Oh,
think
okay.
he was in Atlanta the last couple of days as the lead dedicator, if you will,
Huh, I didn't know that.
being from Georgia. Yeah.
Well, the other point I wanted to
Yeah.
make is he didn't know English or even get exposed to English, I mean, being taught English, until he went to elementary school.
Really?
Yeah. The family spoke Gula, which is that sort of...
What is Gula?
It's a Creole mix that Africans and Caribbean folks in the Low Country, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, it was a language they spoke.
No kidding.
He didn't speak English till... He didn't get exposed to English until he went to elementary school. So 5, 6 years old, whatever it was, didn't know a word of English.
Oh, you talk about an overachiever, huh?
Really, think about that.
Oh, man.
So I don't know how to say good on you, Clarence and Gula, but
Yeah,
that's impressive.
He was the same one that Biden was railing on, right? In the hearings,
Yes, exactly.
Biden took all the heat for
Sticking up for him.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because he was getting railroaded big time.
Yeah.
But that's a whole nother issue.
Yeah, that's a whole other can of fish. So, as they say,
Can of fish.
Can of fish.
Bucket of
Can of worms or a kettle of fish.
Kettle of fish.
There you
we
go. Let's see what else we got on the horizon that we can beat up. We ought to probably talk about. Have you seen the brouhaha over Vindman? Oh, say, can you see? Being escorted out of the West Wing. I just thought
That sight for sore eyes.
Oh, it was great, wasn't it? And of course, he's going after him. This is Trump's way of punishing him for not sticking up for Trump. Baloney.
Has Chuck opened an investigation on that?
Well, I'm sure
there's retribution against these whistleblowers.
You remember when he was sitting on the stand, and everybody is saying, "Oh, he is such a look at how good he looks in his uniform. Look at all the medals. He's a decorated soldier. You cannot run him down." Yeah,
Which reminds me of a little aside. Hold your thought.
Yeah.
But you see these pictures as well in China of all the military, and you see all they got more stuff that are kind of like leaning forward because they got so many medals and stuff like that. And everybody goes, "How do these folks get a medal? I mean, they've never been in any wars. I mean, what do you get medals for? Showing up?"
Yeah. They kicked the highest in the May Day parades. That's Russia.
Yeah, and you got the dip bars and all this stuff, and it's like, give me a break.
Yeah.
Anyway,
he shows up on the witness stand, and everybody's just going, "Oh my God, look at him! Doesn't he look so professional?" Where was the media when they were running Petraeus down, a general? Where was the media when they're running Flynn down? That's the biggest debacle known to man. Is the Flynn deal. I can understand a little bit of Petraeus because he got sideways.
They got the wrong initial behind their name. I mean, in terms of their political affiliation. That's what it is.
Exactly.
Plain and simple.
Exactly. But they threw those guys out. If you look at the history of the NSC, the National Security Council, it started off, I think, with, what am I trying to remember? It started off with about 10 people in the Truman days.
Small is better.
And then it blossomed into Eisenhower, 50 people, okay?
Well, think of the way government has grown.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a classic example.
Yeah, and
they're not the worst.
And him with the military background, he wanted all those channels to be able to contribute. Mm-hmm. Guess who had the biggest ever? Obama, because he's so incompetent. He had to surround himself with 200 of these people. Kennedy cut it back when he was in office. He cut it back to like 25 or 50, something like that. But now, what they're saying is that the right number to have in there, and they normally rotated 70 people at a time out of there.
They don't rotate them fast enough.
Well, yeah, they're going to rotate them out of there, and they ain't going to replace them. is what's going to happen, because Trump is shooting for a number of 100. Total
Okay.
number of 100.
Yeah.
But you can see from Truman all the way up to Obama and Trump, how that thing is just, like you said, exponentially grown to just be so overbearing. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, so much of the U.S. government and other governments, to be fair, I mean, bureaucrats get in there and they tend to, multiply and populate spaces because there's really not much control over them. Politicians get in and they're like dealing with big legislation and big issues and all that. And meanwhile, behind the scenes, things are just, it's kind of like mold. It's just, spreading and getting more and more and more. So,
Perfect example is the EPA.
I was going to say EPA and the Department of Education, too.
Department of Education needs to go away. That's my position.
They all need to be slimmed down.
It needs to go back to the state level. There's some things that the states just do a lot better than the feds.
Yeah.
And one of them is education. Let the states control their own. Yeah, you can feed them some, supplemental dollars or whatever. But, as soon as they get their meat hooks into them by giving them that federal dollars, yeah, you got to comply, baby, or you're going to get cut off. They get them on the government tit, and then all of a sudden they say, no more, no more, no more.
Yep.
And they go, why? Well, you're not in compliance.
Yeah, and EPA came around even before education. EPA was done under Nixon. And so that's out of the 60s, and they have a budget now of, I think, pushing $20 billion. And I can't even imagine what the head count is now. Education came in under Jimmy Carter.
Another one came in under Carter, too, didn't it?
I don't know, Health and Human Services or
Energy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Another one you don't need. Classic example, and I think it's reflected in the candidates we see in the Democratic Party, that more government in your life. Well, I wouldn't say I'm a hardcore libertarian, but my belief has always been the less government, the better. Private individuals and private organizations do things so much more efficiently because they're typically looking at dollars and cents. You eat what you kill.
Post office is a prime example. Post office. I mean, you've got people like Amazon, you've got people like UPS, you've got people like FedEx that are doing the same work so much more efficiently and so much better. And all we keep doing is seeing the first class postage go from,
Yeah, and then they're a money-losing venture. They lose $5-6 billion a year.
Yeah,
and it's just like, okay, so what?
And what do they blame it on? They blame it on pensions, don't they?
Oh yeah,
because you've got all these postal workers that again, have all naturally attrited off but they're getting big pension dollars.
and again, most people know this. We'll just say it again. Union pensions and public sector pensions are unique in the pension world in the sense that they have, like Social Security, cost of living adjusters. Yeah. Most other pensions, if you come out of the private sector, your pension's $30,000 a year. Okay, and that's like from the day you retire, usually 65 in corporations. It's maybe changed a little bit, or you can go early, you can go later. But 20 years from now, it's going to be $30,000. It's not adjusted for inflation. Not so with union, and not so with government employees, unions too. The pension has a cost of living escalator, so they just keep getting bigger and bigger, and they owe more and more to like the younger people coming in. They haven't switched them over to 401ks or IRAs because of union rules and regulations. So that's one of the things that's like basically just gutting states like New Jersey, Rhode Island, Illinois, California, state of Washington, Oregon. All of them have growing pension deficits, and the bad thing is typically these agreements have like that they can't be reduced. So the union is always saying, you made a promise, we have a contract. So if it eventually gets to the point where there's not enough money, guess what? They're going to come back to the people and tax us even more to pay the pensions.
It's not a case of whether there will be enough money. It's a case of when the money will run out. It's all a function in my mind, sometimes it just comes back to population. You've got a baby boomer group that's huge, and they're all retiring, and they're all looking for, we're all looking for benefits. But you've got a much smaller group on the younger side,
On the revenue side.
on the
Yeah,
revenue
coming in.
side, that's providing the Ponzi scheme money to keep the Social Security going. So where's it going to end?
They're going to print money, and it's going to be an inflationary period. That's what's going to
I
happen.
mean, the inflationary period that we're currently in will continue.
Well, yeah, but I mean, our inflation now is relatively low by most accounts. But there's a gorilla in the room next door, and he's pissed.
Well, on that note, I think probably we'll take a break and kind of re-energize for our last segment here before Brian joins the audience again. BKP will be here at about 9:15 with Beth Bennett, our H&R Block sponsor. Bruce and I are enjoying our time here, albeit it's a little bit shorter than usual. We were kind of excited about that, weren't we? We won't have to worry about stretching and filling. I don't know. We say it every time. I don't know how this guy comes in.
We just get into a flow.
Yeah, I know. We just get into a flow. Anyway, so we're glad to be here. We will take us a pause for the cause here, and please take care of the sponsors that make this show possible, please.
Use those folks.
Yeah, use those folks. Buy local, support local, and we will be back in just a few minutes to finish up our stint here. Take us to break, Destiny.
Circuit World has 9-piece living room packages at incredible prices. Get this stylish sofa and love seat, 3 tables, 2 lamps, 43-inch 4K TV, and stand, all for only $1699.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this 9-piece living room and reclining sofa and reclining love seat, now only $1999.99 or $149.99 a month. These packages are amazing. Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
I'm Jeff Riblett, President of Asset Protection Group. As a certified financial planner and with 20 years experience, I've helped thousands of families and business owners create a tremendous amount of wealth. Fortunately, most of that wealth has been protected. Don't allow an unforeseen life event, such as a nursing home stay or the next market meltdown, destroy your family's wealth. Be smart. Call me. Let's determine how best to protect your assets and preserve your wealth.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Kick off 2020 with huge savings at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, like a new 2020 Chevy Colorado, now discounted up to $6,300. Or get a new 2020 Equinox, now discounted up to $8,400. The selection is big, and the savings are huge on every car, truck, and SUV during the 2020 kickoff sale at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where new Chevys always cost less.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LOJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Circuit World has complete queen bedroom packages at amazing prices. Get this queen bed, dresser and mirror, one nightstand, bedding set, and free 32-inch TV, all for only $1799.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this complete queen bedroom set and sleep in style, also for only $1799.99 or $129.99 a month. What an incredible deal! Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Ace is your helpful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
Hey, we are back. You caught me with my glasses on reading. I do have something to report. These are the ways that you can get a hold of us, folks. As you know, we are Bruce and Rick, part of the All-Star panel. We'll see you again on Friday. We're here substituting in for Brian while he is doing some moving and shaking. We've got text tips with Beth Bennett coming up at 9:15. Then you do
with
not...
BKP.
Yeah, with BKP. You do not want to miss the close of the show with BKP. He's got some breaking news that he sent me, and I will not disclose all of it, but it does have to do with some major endorsements. It does have to do with something in the 9th District, and it does have something to do with the Senate race. So if that doesn't give you enough clue to stick around, nothing will. But I think it'll be interesting. He's got some special guests coming in tomorrow. You won't want to miss the 9:30 segment with Brian and and also the 9:15 segment with Beth Bennett. Anyway, we've been around the board. We showed everybody at the opening part of the show the last night's big winner, and that would be Sibba, the standard poodle.
Sibba.
Westminster. Anyway, we've beaten that horse enough, haven't we? Or that dog, if you will.
Yeah, let's leave Sibba alone for a while.
We've only got a couple of minutes here, so we just wanted to jump around and throw a few other things at you. Yesterday, your beloved state of Blue Virginia, in a narrow vote, 50, I think it was a 2-point vote.
Well, the Democrats control the House.
Yeah.
Both chambers.
Or a 4-point vote, whatever it was. They banned the sale of assault-style rifles. If anybody that's got any clue as to how firearms are manufactured and weaponized and fired, you will know that an assault-style weapon is no different than a semi-automatic pistol. Or
Yeah, it's a long gun. I mean, they've tagged assault rifle on it, and it's basically a semi-automatic rifle.
Military style.
Yeah, it looks bad.
It's imposing with its flat black features.
Yes, and all the stuff they put on them, lights and tripods. And
So all they're going to do is make a bunch of criminals out of the law-abiding citizens that have these guns.
But the deal is you can't buy one now in Virginia.
Apparently, that's the deal.
Can you go across the state line?
Well, that's the other question. You know, can you bring it in, and will it pass the Senate? Even though the Senate is controlled by the Democrats, they say that if one Democrat comes to the other side, it won't pass.
Dunsky.
Yeah, it'll be done. So we'll stand by and see what that happens. Again, that's going to be just another Supreme Court fight at some point down the road.
Yeah,
when it's challenged by the NRA or whatever lobby group is the strongest these days.
There's lots of groups,
Yeah.
you know, that are not going to stand for this. I mean, you know, you can argue all day long about the way a rifle looks and this and that and the other thing, but I mean, people are not going to want their Second Amendment rights tampered with. So
Exactly.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, exactly. Breaking news out of Chicago: Jussie Smollett.
Jussie.
He was the individual, as you remember, that faked a hate crime.
Blinded by bleach. I can't see.
Where'd you get that noose around your neck, boy?
Oh, I put that there myself.
Yeah, exactly. So he lied to the cops, and now a grand jury has indicted him on 6 counts of everything under the sun that having to do with that thing.
That'll be ping ponged all over the place because they're gonna use race, and the prosecutor, what was her name, Fox?
Yeah,
she was
Kim Fox.
Yeah, complicit in this whole thing, sort of flushing it down the toilet.
And where did Kim Fox come from? I think she was, excuse me, part of the staff of Michelle Obama.
Oh, okay.
A native Chicagoan who has a lot of influence in the city. Did she actually call Kim Fox and just say, get this guy off? Probably. So what's going to happen? And coincidentally, the state of Illinois has an attorney general's race. Getting ready for a vote. So
is Kim running?
I would think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So these things.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I think that's going to get very, media driven,
contentious at the least.
Yeah, this poor black gay actor is being
railroaded.
Worst thing can happen.
Anyway, those were my couple of tidbits.
I got one. Every time you pay your bill for electricity, the light bill, as some call it.
Turn out the lights, the party's over.
Yeah, you might wonder where Georgia stands in terms of overall pricing for electricity, and they are in the top 10 lowest rates of states in this wonderful country. Louisiana is the number 1 lowest, but Georgia's number is they come in 10th. They are $10.82 per kilowatt hour. And just to let you know where that stands up, the U.S. average is 13.04 cents. So we're below the U.S. average. But catch this, folks. Germany, in Europe, the European Union, the big financial actor over there, they basically have walked away from all their coal. They delegitimized it and said you can't do coal anymore. So they have nuclear and they have natural gas and all that. Their average residential commercial rate in Germany is 30.3043 cents per kilowatt hour compared to the U.S. average, which is
300% difference, huh?
Well, it's 133% higher. It's 17 cents a kilowatt hour higher.
Oh, wow.
So, and Georgia's there at 10. So just to let you know, when you pay your light bill, you're doing better.
Let me tell you, overall, the PSC, the Public Service Commission, which is the kind of the governing body that is the overseer of rates, you know, on the monopolies, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
They've done a pretty good job, and I know that they just gave Georgia Power a rate increase, but Georgia Power hadn't had a rate increase in I think almost 7 to 10 years.
Oh, okay. Well,
something like that.
Anyway. I haven't even been in Georgia that long, so
yeah.
That's okay.
I see something come across the screen? All of a sudden, there was a soccer. There was some kind of a soccer commercial or something that just flashed.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Hey.
Anyway, what else you got there, brother?
Well, I got something that's real quick. I mean, Prada is sort of a real high-end design place that does bags and stuff for
the devil wears Prada, doesn't it?
Yes, the devil wears Prada. Anyway, in 2018, they came out with a line called Prada Malia, and it had charms and figurines and other trinkets that were a new family of mysterious tiny creatures, one part biological, one part technological, and all parts Prada. Well, they had these futuristic kind of spacey things that they were using in promoting their line of merchandise. And some of them were, cute and this and that, and they were, pink and blue and all that. Unfortunately, they had one that was black, and the figurine had red lips. And so a civil rights lawyer went into the store and saw it, and she was just aghast. She said, "This is blackface times a million." So basically, she took them to court. They caved. And where it is now is they have to appoint a diversity and inclusion officer who can review all of Prada's materials sold worldwide to make sure that they meet the Human Rights Commission of New York's guidelines for diversity and racial sensitivity. God. I'm just saying, this is the tip of the iceberg of a lot of social justice stuff, folks. I mean, that you get people in there
social justice gone amok
that are so offended by the way you just look at them sometimes. It's not a good harbinger of the future for us. So I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Anyway, well, we've enjoyed our time here this morning, even though it's a little bit cut short. But never fear, Brian's here. And he will be here at 9:15 with Beth Bennett for tax tips from H&R Block. Also, 9:30, you do not want to miss
breaking news.
Yeah, Brian's closed because he's got some breaking news, some endorsements, some special guests coming up tomorrow. So,
do you think he's going to do the John Dean Rebel yell? Dr. Dean.
We can only hope. Was his first name John?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, God, now that's going to be in my mind's eye all darn day.
Remember that?
Anyway.
That was great.
Destiny, thanks for all you do. Appreciate it. Thanks for queuing up that little segment early on in the broadcast. And Bruce and I with Jane will see you on Friday at Circuit World, our winter home, and we look forward to that.
All-Star panel.
With the All-Star panel. So take us to break, and we'll be back here with Brian and Beth.
Circuit World has 9-piece living room packages at incredible prices. Get this stylish sofa and love seat, 3 tables, 2 lamps, 43-inch 4K TV, and stand, all for only $1699.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this 9-piece living room and reclining sofa and reclining love seat, now only $1999.99 or $149.99 a month. These packages are amazing. Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
I'm Jeff Riblett, President of Asset Protection Group. As a certified financial planner and with 20 years experience, I've helped thousands of families and business owners create a tremendous amount of wealth. Fortunately, most of that wealth has been protected. Don't allow an unforeseen life event, such as a nursing home stay or the next market meltdown, destroy your family's wealth. Be smart. Call me. Let's determine how best to protect your assets and preserve your wealth.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Better days ahead.
Kick off 2020 with huge savings at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, like a new 2020 Chevy Colorado, now discounted up to $6,300. Or get a new 2020 Equinox, now discounted up to $8,400. The selection is big, and the savings are huge on every car, truck, and SUV during the 2020 kickoff sale at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where new Chevys always cost less.
Better days ahead. Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
Hey folks, we're back. I'm your host BKP, and it's time for Tax Tips. H&R Block Tax Tips with Beth Bennett. Wait a minute. 1, 2. Who are you? Where did you sneak in?
Oh, stop it.
Oh, stop it. Would you like to introduce this lady that's with us, the star of the H&R Block team?
You're so dramatic.
The infamous Crystal Nadolski.
Crystal is in the house. And yes, Crystal, every year when we do this segment at tax time, Crystal shows up from time to time and she tells us she's not going to talk.
Yes, she does.
But she's going to. You're
There's
going
talks of some
to
hot lights.
talk.
Yes,
Because
I
this
want
is
to.
tax tips, and we have to give them tax tips. Again, Beth Bennett and Crystal here, H&R Block, tax tips. Beth, you said earlier we want to talk this week, our topic this week is educational credits. So if you're out there, educational credits, so we're talking about kids, colleges, all kinds of things this
All
morning.
that. Yep, we're just going to keep moving down the line with that. So I wanted to talk this week about education credits, and there are 3 different types of educational credits that you can take. Probably the hardest one to get is the American Opportunity Credit, and that's mostly for those kids right out of high school going into college. That one's got a lot more rules to it, I guess you would say. Like, you have to be pursuing a degree. You can't just go take a class and claim those credits. You can only take it for the first 4 years that you're in college. It is a nice credit. It's a maximum credit of up to $2,500, so that's a very nice credit to receive. And it does have a refundable portion where the other credits do not. So if you zeroed out at your taxes, you didn't owe any taxes, you could still get up to 40% of the $2,500 refunded.
So let me understand this. It's a $2,500 tax credit. And when you say it's a refundable credit, meaning even if when you get done with your taxes, you zero out, if you still have this, it would go against your refund.
It would go to your refund.
To your
yes.
refund, right. To
You
your
could get
refund.
some of that refunded to you,
Right.
where the others just help reduce your tax liability.
All right, now it is out there, and when if you're a student and you're in high school, I would think you would want to do the things to qualify to get this tax credit. You said it's not the easiest. You have to be working towards a degree. What are some of the hard things that you have to make sure you're doing to be eligible for this?
Well, you can't be married, filing separate. To claim it, you can't be claimed as a dependent on someone else's return. So the student, the child, if it's a child, they can't do their own return and claim the credit. The parents get that credit.
Okay.
So if I was going to school, I could claim the credit for myself if it was my first 4 years of college, even though I'm a grown-up, been out of school for many years. I could claim the credit for myself because I'm not a dependent on someone else's return. But my student who's 19 years old, right out of high school, still living at home or at campus, that person, the dependent couldn't claim that credit. The parents can.
Let me say this, folks. Maybe the top reason we do this segment is some of these things the government puts out as a credit can be a little confusing. It can from time to time of what you're eligible for or not eligible for, and that's why we suggest professionals. There's so many different ways to file, but that's why we suggest professionals like Beth and Crystal here at H&R Block to go do taxes that can answer these kind of questions. What else do we have as far as educational credits this morning?
So the next one would be lifetime learning, and that's probably the sweetest deal because anyone can qualify for that. Don't have to be going for a degree. You can take, for instance, when H&R Block got very techy. Originally, when we put computers in the offices, they were just computers. We didn't have so many things running in the background, the networking and servers and all that. And so I just went and took a class at, I think it was Appalachian Tech back then.
Yes,
it's been so many names over the years. And took that class for networking to learn more about networking, just to help me improve my job skills. And that's totally claimable in this credit, where the American Opportunity, that's not. Because I just went for a class, with American Opportunity, you have to be in school for over half time for a semester at qualified school. It's just very complicated. This one is, you could go take a class on government.
I think that'd be a great
really?
idea.
I know you didn't say that.
I think you should.
I
and then
teach
you could
the
take that.
class.
Oh, So you're
Really?
not an accredited school.
Huh?
You're not an accredited education.
I will be.
You're going to
by
work
this
to get
afternoon.
that.
So
There's something online you can go to do that.
Really quick. Since you said that, let's go back 15 years ago when online courses were introduced. I'm going to say they were not as taken as serious, but almost every college and university now has online courses.
Mm-hmm.
So do online courses qualify also?
Absolutely. Oh, she talked. Did you hear that?
I got it.
Okay.
I thought it was, I didn't know what it was at first.
Echo.
That's not nice. We have to be nice to her. You and I made a deal. If she came in, we'd be nice.
We did?
Yes.
Oh.
I feel like that's
I
a hard
slept
task
since
for
then.
you.
Oh.
For me, for him.
Both of you.
I'm not going to tell you who she is, but at one time she may have been a dependent.
It's been a while.
A little while.
All right.
I don't know. I should still get to claim her. And the kids.
Okay.
The grandkids.
Back to you, Phil. Lifetime learning. So if you're taking classes, further education, and I love that because we try to tell our people here at our network that, hey, take that one class, because I am not going to say you shouldn't work towards a degree, but a lot of times it's certain classes that you need for your career day to day.
Correct.
And there is a credit for that.
Well,
and
you could
eligible
already
online.
have a degree.
Right, exactly.
And then you're just building on that. But it doesn't necessarily mean that, because things change so fast today. How we do everything is changing, right?
Right.
Nothing is the same as it was 5 years ago. And so this one here is a very nice deal. There's no limits. You can claim it for your whole life. You can take one class every year for 20 years and you still get to claim this credit.
I don't know that I would think of, if I came in to sit down and do my taxes, I would probably just bring all my documents and sit there. And I don't know that I would think to tell you, hey, last semester I enrolled and took one accounting class or this or that. But that's important that you guys know that.
Yep.
And that will alter because you do have a credit available for that.
Right. And that's why it's important to go to a professional, whether it's us or someone else. And I say that all the time. I said it a lot last year with the tax law changes. But a thorough interview is what gets you the most accurate tax return. Because if you're doing an online tax return, if you're doing yourself, you don't know all those little things that our preparers spend. They're required to get at least 18 hours of continuing education every year. But most get 40, 50, 60 hours because we do have a very amazing online school for our tax preparers, and they're broken down into very topic specific categories. So you might take a 3-hour class on just education credits, or 6 hours or 9 hours or whatever. And so they're always learning.
Well, when you
how
say
to do better on your tax return.
You said, I don't want to interrupt you, but you said something that really caught my attention there. You said a thorough review, a thorough interview. So that is something that really caught my attention, and we're talking about the possible credits. You guys have you have something already prearranged that you have, I call it checklist, but you make sure you dig as deep as you can, because those questions, depending on the answer, there's a lot of deductions you may be missing. And
Correct.
So you do, anybody that comes to one of your H&R Block offices, and they have several, we'll go over that in a minute, you guys do a thorough interview with them.
Yes.
To find out everything so you don't.
Yeah, I say this all the time. People say, I only have a W-2. But it's really not just about the papers that you have in your hand to complete your tax return. Not everything is as a form that gets mailed to you. It really is about that interview and answering the questions and then digging deeper.
I have a W-2, I'm married, and I have 2 kids, and I rent a house. No, that's not everything. Want, right?
Yeah.
Let's go on to some other things we want to make sure now on, and you say not refundable. Go through the other items you have here, because we're talking about education credits this morning.
So on the lifetime learning, it's not refundable. So if you got to, if your credit was $2,000 and you had a refund of $1,000, it's not going to increase it to $3,000. So it's not refundable. You get to take the credit. It can help improve your refund or lower your tax liability, but you're not going to get a refund of that credit. It's not going to show up at the bottom and a check at your house. There are limits on your modified AGI, and that's, some things are taken in and out of your adjusted gross income to determine that, and that's based on your filing status. Again, you can't be claimed as a dependent. So, if you've got that kid living at home or on college campus, that person can't claim it. It'll have to be the parent. And again, it counts for all years of post-secondary education. So any education that you do above high school is, you can take this credit on that. So if you wanted to go to the massage therapy and become a massage therapist, as long as it's an accredited school,
right,
you can take that. Beauty school, it doesn't have to be a 4-year college degree to get this one. So this one's very cool. I like that one a lot. And you can just do, like I said, one class, one semester. It doesn't have to be, you have to be enrolled so many hours per semester, per year, where the American Opportunity is that one. It's more like a full-time student that's
away at college.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's where I ask that one question. Is there any difference in your dependent, your child, when you file your taxes? Because I'm looking for something different than when I was a kid. I'm looking for the different line. But we had no such thing as dual enrollment. We weren't getting out. I mean, in high school back in the day, if you only had two classes to finish, you got out at 10 o'clock and you just got out at 10 o'clock. Now there's so many opportunities for kids to, take dual enrollment. Now, do those college courses affect your taxes a different way, or can you file a different way, or is that something you should know when filing taxes?
So those kids could be claiming any one of those credits, depending which one is going to best benefit them.
Right, exactly. So that's something you need to know, whether they're 16, 17 years old, if they're already...
Yeah, if you're taking college classes, and you should qualify
no matter
for
that,
these
you
credits.
guys need to know that.
We need to know that, yes. If you're a high school student doing dual enrollment, and that's very common today.
Yes, that's
I
why...
can't imagine doing college classes in high school, could you?
I don't think we should start that discussion.
You don't?
No,
Okay.
I think
All right,
we should
moving
back,
on.
I think we should back right away from that.
He did talk about getting sidetracked before, so we'll
I
stay
didn't
on track.
I just saying. I had see, don't do that. You guys have several locations. Let's talk about that, where everybody's at, and Crystal, highlight the professional staff you have. I always like to do that on every segment in case they didn't highlight the professional staff that you guys have at all these stores that are ready to help.
You want me to highlight?
Yeah,
them?
we this is your we wanted to bring you
show some
in.
love, don't
Yeah,
you?
we wanted to bring you in.
Oh, we have great tax preparers in each office. They all have 10 plus years of experience in mine at 71 River Street, and then in Mom's office, Cindy's been with us for
22 years, I think.
22 years. And they can do any and all kind of tax returns.
In Mom's office.
Mom's, yeah.
You're supposed to say
500 Highland Crossing.
You're supposed to say my sister's office, Mom's office. Beth, I would have never done you that way. Never.
I think he called her out as my dependent, so
Oh.
I think he already did.
That was gone. Mom and daughter here, and Crystal, I do love when you come in, because there's a couple things we highlight here. We love at fyntv.com getting the highlights: small business, family business, and and that's what you guys are. You're a family business, and the people, when you say named the one preparer for 20 some years, I mean, you guys, it's like family in every office you have.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And that's the way you guys run it.
Yep.
Where are all the locations, Beth? This is your test time.
I'll pass. 71 River Street in Ellijay, 500 Highland Crossings in East Ellijay, Chatsworth, Cleveland, Cornelia, Hartwell, Commerce, Jefferson.
Pretty good. And she passed the test. How can they get in touch with you no matter where they're at? What number is best to call? no matter what office they want to visit, and what are your standard hours of operation?
We don't really have standard hours of operation.
Yeah.
I
mean,
understand.
we're
I'm a
very
business owner
accommodating.
too.
Yeah.
We just
we try to work really hard to accommodate everybody, and our hours change throughout the season just based on client flow. It gets real busy for a period, and then it'll slow down, to a nice steady, and then we'll go back up again at filing deadline. So they go up and down, but our preparers are all very willing to come in early, stay late. We're open on Saturdays and Sundays, so we'll work with you to get you in.
Some people may get a misunderstanding that sometimes you get a feeling out there that people just rush in at this time of the year to do taxes. You guys do quarterlies, you do corporate business, you do business. I mean, so
bookkeeping,
payroll.
payroll.
Right, you handle it all. There's a lot of services you guys handle, not just preparing that tax return this time of year.
And then we do counseling all year. If you've got a tax question, or I've been getting tons of calls this year on a W-4 planner. The W-4, when you get hired at a new job, or if you want to change your withholding on your paycheck, it has changed dramatically this year. And so I just keep telling everyone, come on in and see us. We don't charge you for that. We want to help you do the best on your tax return that we can.
And you do a lot of consultation for the next year. You pre-plan. So when you're working on somebody's taxes this year, you're saying next year we need to do this, next year we have to have this, we want this will be a benefit. So not only are they getting you to prepare their taxes, they're also getting you to help prepare for next year.
Correct.
You write that down. That's a good one.
Okay.
You like that one?
That'd be my new logo.
Yeah. You
My
got
new
it?
slogan. Yes.
Tax tips with Beth Bennett and Crystal. And you don't know how much I enjoy this segment because, yes, family business, when you're dealing with the owner, hard workers. I know you guys are hard workers. Your team is professionals, trained professionals. And as Beth said, call them, all right? Make sure you call them. And what's the number? Did you say it already?
I didn't, because we got so many.
Okay, we're past it.
Find us on, yeah.
Yeah, all right, we got it. All right, so, don't call.
You can call, but
all right.
But you can find us online. That's probably the easiest way.
Easiest
Call
way.
us, shows our hours. You can book an appointment online. Pretty awesome.
But, folks, if you have work hours that you need a special appointment, you get in touch with them. They will work around your schedule, and I can say that freely because you guys always do. You work around somebody else's schedule.
We sure do.
Yes, sir.
Anything we forgot to say this morning on education credits?
Yeah, we're good there. We covered them. The big parts.
Okay, education credits this morning, and that does not include classes at Rex Kwon Do, and only those out there understand what I just said. So I'm your host, BKP Tax Tips with Beth Bennett and Crystal. We got to put her name at the bottom. She wants billing, H&R Block. We'll be right back after these messages.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LOJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on-site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Circuit World has complete queen bedroom packages at amazing prices. Get this queen bed, dresser and mirror, one nightstand, bedding set, and free 32-inch TV, all for only $1799.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this complete queen bedroom set and sleep in style, also for only $1799.99 or $129.99 a month. What an incredible deal! Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Ace is your healthful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
Hey folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. Thank you, Rick and Bruce, for opening up this morning and taking the lead for about an hour and 10 minutes. I had some political phone calls I had to make. It's been a whirlwind of a morning, and I don't mean New Hampshire. Also, I want to thank Destiny for doing an amazing job. Absolutely amazing job this morning putting the show together and all kinds of things happening there. And a big shout out to Emily yesterday for running the Starship. She sat in on the Starship yesterday. Good shout out to Emily, an assistant producer here now. All right, so let's go. First of all, tomorrow morning, here's what's happening, okay? At 9:30, my guest will be Congressman Doug Collins, okay? So let's put up a picture of Congressman Doug Collins. Congressman Doug Collins will be on the show between 8:30, let me get this correct, 8:30 to 8:45, okay? Now, his opponent, Senator Kelly Loeffler, seems to be racking up endorsements left and right. Like yesterday, Newt Gingrich. Now, to me, Newt has expended his political capital in Georgia. We like Newt. We're not anti-Newt, but it did not fire up the grassroots base as it used to when Newt Gingrich came out yesterday and said, I support Kelly Loeffler. Now, I don't know when I'm saying this, but I always wonder when Jeffrey Speecher is that his name, Kelly Loeffler's husband, the owner of the New York Stock Exchange, I always wonder when he rakes pocket change off the dresser in the morning, he doesn't want to carry it. What foundation does it fall into? What nonprofit does it fall into? What consulting group does it fall into? What political action committee, PAC, does it fall into? I just wonder, okay? So, am I saying they are buying endorsements? No, I'm not saying that. I left a pause for you to think about it. Congressman Doug Collins will be on the show from 8:30 to 8:45 tomorrow morning. Now, he just received a real, to me, grassroots endorsement, and one that, tomorrow, remind me, I got to find my Mike Huckabee for President pin. Show me Mike Huckabee, Governor Mike Huckabee. There he is. So, Governor Mike Huckabee has endorsed Congressman Doug Collins in the Senate race. And we're actually asking the question, hey, can we get him on to talk about it? Wouldn't you love to talk to the governor right here? So there you go. Mike Huckabee, former governor of Arkansas, former presidential, You know, if the Democrats would not have rushed into South Carolina to vote for John McCain, let's go into that a little later one day. I don't know. Maybe that's when it happened, because he was really surging in West Virginia. Anyhow, he has endorsed Congressman Doug Collins. Now, we have another one, the 9th Congressional District. So put up Matthew Gertler, okay? So there's Matthew. Can we get him to the other side? I'm sorry about that, Destiny. I know I'm asking you to just fly some things real quick. Thank you, Destiny. I appreciate it. You don't know, I came in and just started throwing all this new stuff in here because it happened this morning. He is the Georgia House Rep District 8 currently, Matthew Gertler. He announced this morning he is running for office. Not just any office. He wants former Congressman Doug Collins' spot in the 9th Congressional District. Now, we told you that was happening. We knew it was coming. Now, put up Dr. Paul Brown. There's Dr. Paul Brown. Wonder what dilemma to make the lemonade. We wrote that one just this morning. Wonder what dilemma the Georgia Republican Assembly is having over these two candidates. Because are they going to be going for the same voters? Okay, will they? I don't know. Let me see here. I want to say something on this before we move. Show me Matthew Gertler last week. Okay, again. All right. Now, Representative Gertler went to Washington, D.C., all right, and we understand, our sources say last week he met with Club for Growth. Now, he met for the Club for Growth. These are the same people attacking Congressman Doug Collins. Are they going to support him? And is he going to be able to take their support in the 9th District where Congressman Doug Collins is very popular? Oh, mackerel, I don't know what the hell will happen. Our sources say he met with Club for Growth, okay? And the Freedom Caucus, the leaders of the Young Americans for Liberty, took him around D.C., introducing Matt to conservative groups. That's what we were told. So he's in it. Now, the same groups, Dr. Paul Brown, those same groups Dr. Paul Brown talks to, are they going to go after the same exact voter? Same exact voter in the 9th District. Did Gertler just dilute the vote? I don't know. We'll see. You're the voter. Okay, now let's move right along. Give me the picture that shows last night's results. There's one that shows all of last night's results. There you go. Now, Sanders is 26%. I would like my good friends in South Carolina. Can we tag South Carolina in this? Can we send it to the South Carolina Republican Party? Send it to any damn thing. You put in South Carolina and Republican. Any damn thing that comes up on Facebook or anywhere. Let's put it out there. I would like for our South Carolina Republican friends to go vote for Bernie Sanders. Go vote for Bernie Sanders. Okay? Now, this is the day. Should I do it today? Yeah, I'm going to. I'm a little bit wishy-washy here. I know you guys are going to call me out. I was Joe Biden's out, Joe Biden's in, Joe Biden's out. Rush Limbaugh said months ago that Joe Biden is out, Plugs is out, he's done, finished. I did not follow his lead. May I get the forgiveness, Mr. Limbaugh, for not following your lead. 5, didn't even get delegates. 0. Elizabeth Pocahontas Warren. Now, the one thing for Warren, she is the senator of the bordering state. Now, it's just like New York City. It's a joke. People rush into New York City from Connecticut and New Jersey. And then when they get done throughout the day, they rush back to Connecticut and New Jersey. Now, in Boston, where they spell Ka with a K, okay? Okay, spell Ka with a K. In Boston, they rush out of there over the border to New Hampshire, okay, to sleep. She is the bordering senator in Massachusetts. So every time the news comes on in Boston, there's poor people, not poor financially, just sadly poor people have to sit there and listen to tonight's breaking Boston news. And she couldn't get over 9% or a delegate. She left with a goose egg. Biden left, not a delegate. Okay? Yang is out. The Yang gang is crying this morning. He's out. So all you kids out there that thought you were going to get $1,000 a month, my boy Yang, you realize if my boy Yang gets elected, at least he will be spotting me my beer and weed money monthly. I mean, dude, $1,000. You know what I could do with $1,000? I can up the quality of my herb. That's right. Sorry. I shouldn't do that. Kids could be watching. But the Yang gang is through. Steyer, he's just spending money, traveling, taking pictures. He's the only guy on the stage with a camera around his neck. I'm just a tourist, taking pictures everywhere I go. Sanders comes out. The boy who would be king is number 2. And Amy Klobuchar, number 3. The one thing on these results, there's two things. South Carolina, please, it's open primary. Georgia, open primary. We don't care about Nevada. Remember, let's do let's do unto them as they have done unto us. Is that what a good book says? Let's just write it. We will do unto you as you have done unto us. Is that what it is? Hell, we're not looking for grammatically correct. Remember, they gave us McCain in South Carolina. Was it South Carolina? I don't know. They went and voted for McCain. Did they? The Democrats? John McCain? Now, not the first time, George W. Bush. I don't know. I'm just on a friggin' roll, folks. Sanders. Vote for Sanders in South Carolina. That's right. Socialist. Now, Peter Pan, Buttigieg, and Klobuchar on a serious note, very serious note. Every time the Democrats say, well, our exit polling says this, and our exit polling says that, and we feel what's happening are the Democrat voters are looking more to the centrist candidates and the more moderate candidates. No! The guy that came in number 2 was raised in a Marxist home. His daddy was a Marxist. His mama was a Marxist. His damn dog was a Marxist. All of them are communist. Sorry. I can't. Why are you upset? I'm just having fun. But seriously, Buttigieg, his dad, a professor at a college, a Marxist professor. No, they're not centrist. They're not. They're all liberal, crazy-ass people. Everybody on that screen, Tom Steyer, impeached the president. Every single damn person on that screen hates your president, does not like America, wants to reshape it in the mold of globalist UN and kiss ass all around the world, not be the leaders. Amy Klobuchar, don't forget, voted on Article 1, guilty. On Article 2, guilty. Elizabeth Warren, guilty, guilty. Bernie Sanders, guilty, guilty. Moving right along. Let me see what other picture I sent you this morning. I don't know. Let me see what I got here. Give me the one that has Joe Biden on the front page. Let me have a couple. There. Say it ain't Joe. Joe, look at that. It's like he got hit when he's a boxer. Body blow, body blow. Joe is gone, folks. Joe, I think South Carolina. Now, I thought this was great this morning. Let me see which one I have here. All right, that's Joe. He's in South Carolina. Hey, in my book, we haven't even started yet. I know I got embarrassed in Iowa. And I understand they pulled my drawers down while I was on stage in New Hampshire. That's actually how it looks. I mean, if you come in number 5, right, and you're Joe Biden, let me say this. I enjoy when I can come here, and all jokes aside, and tell you, Joe Biden has never been a political opponent. All through the impeachment trial, one thing that got my goat, right, was every time I would hear Donald Trump trying to get Oppo Research, trying to get somebody to investigate his political, using a foreign country, his political opponent. Joe Biden has never been a political opponent. In fact, Joe Biden finished 8%, not polling before. Go do the research, okay? Go do the research. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I'd love to have it. Put up where they could send it and then put that picture back up. Do the research, okay? You find presidential primary results that Joe Biden even finished as high as 8%. That may have been the highest primary vote finish Joe Biden has ever had as a presidential candidate, all right? Period. Go back to the picture. You do it. Let me know what you think. He's never been a political opponent. I told you that. He just had the Senate give to him, and one thing after the other. So Joe Biden's through. Maybe it'll be the end all. Let's go to the Peter Pan Buttigieg. All right, Buttigieg 2 supporters. Now here's the interesting thing. How is white Obama going to go black enough in South Carolina? Now, I'm wondering now this morning, I love that Morning Joe brought on no other than the domestic terrorist, Al Sharpton, to help. They're trying to help this little white boy. You know, I worked at this corporation one time. Let me just tell you this story quickly, all right? I worked at a corporation, and obviously I didn't do well in the corporation. My sales were through the roof, but I just couldn't take it, all right? So I'm working for these two guys, you see, two guys. And one's a CEO and one's a CFO. And these guys are brilliant. They're brilliant men. They have 9 degrees hanging on the wall. They are so brilliant, they didn't know how to lace up their damn boots, okay? I'm telling you. But they're good guys. They paid me every week. They're good guys. But they weren't in it, right? They weren't in it. So anyhow, they hired this guy. All right, they hired this guy to manage one of our branches. And a couple weeks after they hired the guy, they asked me to go to the branch and do a review, come back and give them a report on the trucks, the drivers, the sales department, customer service, the manager, how it all worked, the flow. So I go and I knock on a door, boom, boom, boom. I'm here to review the branch for a couple days. Okay, come on in. So I'm just here to observe. So I write a report, right? And I go back to the two guys, and I go in the office and I said to the two guys, they said, what do you think? And I said, well, I have a nice report for you, and I'm going to break it down, tell you what I see, okay? Tell you maybe what changes we can make. All right, so they're all excited. I said, but I'm going to sum the whole report up in. I'm not going to give you the guy's name because that would give it away too. I'm going to sum the whole report up in the guy you hired, he's extra white. He's not just white, he is extra white. So I have these two guys that retired out of major corporations. I mean, they've never heard nothing like this in their life. They're both looking at me. One guy's drooling. What the hell does that mean? What is it? What are you trying to say? I'll never forget. What are you trying to say? I say this boy is so damn white. That's exactly what I said. He's so damn white, there's no way the 4 African-American or black drivers we have in the warehouse are ever going to listen or associate with this individual or work for. It's just not going to happen. Not going to happen. I've got a really nice review, but I can just tell you, I like the guy, he's nice, but you need to figure something else like human resources where nobody ever sees this guy. He's so damn white. Anyhow, Peter Pan Buttigieg, they're going to try to figure out, this is the boy who would be king, how this guy can become black between now and South Carolina. And they had the domestic terrorist on, Al Sharpton, this morning to try to explain it. I'm just telling you, this guy is so damn white. How white is he? I'll tell you tomorrow. All right, let me see what else I have here. I wanted to make sure of. Give me the last screenshot there. Roger Stone. All right, for all of you that are wondering, is President Trump serious about the corruption in the swamp? He says it publicly on TV. He names names. He will not throw Rudy Giuliani, his friend, under the bus. The Department of Justice is reviewing Rudy's documents and his research now and his investigation. Roger Stone, they're reviewing now. General Flynn, reviewing now. He's serious. And let me tell you why the left is freaking out. Because they know what comes next. I think arrest will happen on the swamp side of this coin. The worm has turned. I'm your host, BKP. Tomorrow morning at 8:30, we will have Congressman Doug Collins on. At 8:50, Matthew Gertler will join us to talk about his run in the 9th District. And you never know what else will happen. I'm your host, BKP. We'll see you tomorrow morning right here on this network, FYNTV.com. Take us out of here.